first hi-hats I probably use is the ones that aren't the two-step, so we can go like this for like the first part. Yo my guys, what's going on? Hope everyone is doing well. We're back in the stew for another video. So in today's video I kind of want to take you guys through how to kind of make those fire simple beats that Wheezy makes for artists like Future and Gunna. Kind of something inspired by Too Easy, the most recent track. If you guys haven't heard it, go check it. It's actually really fire. It's kind of got really simple kind of formulaic chords, and then he's put some effects on it to kind of get this weird sort of off bounce with the top line melody. So I'm going to be kind of making something similar in that style, also showing you guys some atmospheric sounds you can use, some different little synth sounds on this free plugin I've got, as well as going through the drums, briefly the structure and all that good stuff, so you guys can soak up the gems. So if any of you guys are new around here or you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates here on a weekly basis with all the producer content. Okay, but that's pretty much it, so let's get into it. Symphony Orchestra, I've just got down some really simple basic chords just to kind of start off the melody really simple and then kind of build it up. So I'm using these harp plugs here in the percussion, harp and celeste section in BBC Symphony Orchestra, which is a free plugin. You guys see I use this all the time. So this is kind of what I've come up with. And then we're going to sort of use this as like something to build around. It doesn't really sound like much now, but we can add more to it. Just put on a plugin called Halftime, or you can use Gross Beat if you've got Gross Beat. So now I'm just going to fiddle around with the preset settings here. So this is giving me more of a Wheezy vibe, and I'm just going to pitch it up because Halftime pitches it down to 1200. That's already got more of that vibe. So let's just experiment with the parameters here. Okay, so really simple. Now we're going to go in and add like a sort of staggered top line melody. Something similar to like Too Easy if you've heard that new song Future Gunna. Let's just have a little play around on the keyboard here, and I'm going to try and figure out some notes. So I'm just going to get this down, and then I'm going to sort of talk you guys through my thinking in the rhythm. So now we want to kind of have more of a muted feel to it, so I'm going to lower the velocities. So I don't want it to be playing loud in terms of the velocities because it's going to have a different sound, because Labs is like velocity sensitive. But what I want to do is compress it and actually turn up the sound when it's got a more muted feel on a lower velocity. So we can just compress it here to 1 on a vintage, and then I'm just going to push it up by 10 dB. Me, it's still a bit too robotic, so what I'm going to do is actually shrink it down like that by selecting them all and holding Alt. And then what I'm going to do is delete this part and then move this part here. Shrink this down again to get a different variety of sound with the halftime. So I think we can just move this up as well. I'm just going to move this up 100 semitones, I think. Sorry, 100 cent. So we can go to transpose select the +1, which is going to take us from E minor to F minor. So I'm really liking how that Labs is sounding. I'm going to put a bit of reverb on that. Isn't that low cut? I'm going to create an automation clip on the delay there. So how I'm going to do that is basically just do it across one bar like this, and the delay is just basically going to come in and out like that. So now I'm going to add in a synth, because that's something that Wheezy likes to use to kind of create variety, like in his beats. It'll be kind of like an old sort of sawtooth or slow sort of sounding synth. So for this sound I've got Purity here, and I'm going to use the vintage saw pad and just put in some really basic melodies, and then I'm going to sort of show you and break it down, so I'm going to just play it in. So I'm not sure if I'm going to 100% use this sound, but I'm going to just get something down and then sort of figure it out. So So keep that there, that can go there, and that can go there like that. And what I want to do now is basically just experiment with a few different sounds just to kind of see what's going to give it that sort of like spacey ambient vibe. We could just leave this melody as it is. It's very simple, but the drums would sound really good on it. But you often also hear like other sounds, like kind of like spacey ARP sounds. So I'm going to try and find like a sort of random liquid texture in Omnisphere here. For example, these flowing water tones will probably fit just nice. So I think what I'm going to do with these is I'm just going to hit both octaves and just allow it to build across the 4 bars, and then just sort of maybe automate the volume if it's becoming too loud. So I can just go into the EQ here. Let's just put it on radio setting and see how that sounds. So I'm going to open a new pattern. I'm going to put the basic drums in here. So you can just do this across like 4 bars, and then what you can do is go straight into here, go into advanced looping, and then you can just put your claps in, like say if I want my claps here, and I'll do that over however many I need to do it over, 32. That will just loop those claps then. So it's kind of easy just to start layering out your basic drums. So I'm using the Sprite clap and the basic bitch clap both from the Phantom drum kit here. So with Wheezy beats as well, you want to kind of make sure the bounce is kind of versatile. So you're probably not putting in a lot of the sound you're using for each like percussive element, but it's just about it kind of being dotted about to make the beat seem more interesting. I'm going to do a little return on the snare here. This is a marching band snare, and I've got the out up here. Get the hi-hats now and then work on the 808 and the kick and stuff, so I like that to be about 8 bars. And the reason I haven't done the melodies in more than 4 bars just for this instance, because the melodies are quite simple, and then I'll probably end up going ahead and rendering it and creating like pitched down versions, pitched up versions and stuff, which I'll take you through on the structuring part of the video. I'm going to get the hi-hat on the money, and we've got the out up about 50%, I'd say 51% exactly. And just for workflow purposes, we're going to just go into the Fusion hi-hat MIDI kit. I also got a free hi-hat MIDI kit if you guys want to go check that as well. It's linked in the description under free resources for producers. So yeah, I'm going to use one of my 100 here. So let's try the Amiri one, see how that sounds. And already, yeah, I'm getting that Wheezy sort of vibe, just a bit like this, the track Too Easy, but a bit too much going on with the drums, so I want to create a bit of bounce. I'm going to remove some hi-hats here and there just to create that, and maybe switch up some of the frequencies of these little rolls and stuff. That's just too much there. So that's kind of like a nice bounce, really simple. I haven't had to do too much thinking on that because the kit's obviously made that a little bit easier. So yeah, now I'm going to go in, put in a sort of spin sound in 808, something that's a bit longer. This is my ATL 808 from my Phantom drum kit, which I previously mentioned, which is pretty much most of the sounds I'm using here. So if you guys want to check it, it's linked in the description. I'm going to kind of do here. Just move this here. And I want to put like a little roll in this part here. So let's put this into a triplet beat. Now it's too big, let's put it into a third step. We're gonna have some cool little rolls here, just gonna use the paintbrush tool for that. So let's just click Shift D to get it to the right size, and then you can click that and then just stagger the velocity, like so. just turn that clipper down to about 10 dB and just get that post up a little bit more. Just so it hits nice and hard, and then look, it's only hitting about 6 dB there, which is nice. It's going to leave a bit of headroom for the mix. So when I've got this synth coming in, I think I'm going to switch the 808. I noticed that's something that Wheezy does. So I've got like a shorter 808. Because for example, in Too Easy, which is obviously the most recent track with Future and Gunna, like when his synth elements come in, I noticed there was a change in like the style of 808, and I'm assuming it's probably to make more room because there's more melodies going on. So I'm gonna do something similar with this pattern. So it's the same time, just copied and pasted it, and then we're just gonna add some differences because the 808 is much shorter. So by basically using the same pattern, it won't get the same feel because obviously the 808 is gonna be cutting out much sooner. Something different. Let's keep that sort of pattern for this. Use the BLAM one. I also feel like there's a little bit too much still going on with the hi-hats, so I might just take a few more out. And then, like, for example, if you feel like the hi-hat pattern's getting too repetitive and you want it to switch on the 808, you can always just put in like a 2-step, for example, and then just mute this one. So that's pretty much like what we do in terms of like the drums and the melodies. So now I'd actually just split the melodies out, and then what I want to do, for example, is I want to take that symphony orchestra and the mandolin, and I just want to render these and replace them here. So what that's going to allow is for me to still have the MIDI but also have an audio version. One, because it's faster to use it that way, but two, also we can make unique adjustments to this much easier than just constantly having to do it in the MIDI. So that's why I like to work that way. So this is sort of what I'm going to do. So I think for the mandolin, I'm going to take that down 1200 for the intro, and yeah, same for the symphony orchestra chords. And I can even hear like the drum just coming in on this. Like, this is hard on its own. Do you know what I mean? That you can just have like your tag or whatever, or a riser. And you know, like I can hear the hi-hats in there as well. Probably with the ATL 808 as well. So the first hi-hats I probably use is the ones that aren't the 2-step. So we could go like this for like the first part. The original symphony orchestra and the labs. And we need to also just bring those delays along that I showed you guys earlier. And then I think for this part we'll put in the 2-step, add that, and then we'll get pattern 5, which is like the hats and the basic sort of drum bounce. Turn that down a little bit. Then I think we can continue that again, like that, and then we've got these textures as well, and I need to figure out where to layer these in. So I think I'll put these in the intro, for example, like this. Yeah, that's definitely giving me this sort of atmospheric vibe. I might do the same now and just take some of the drums out here. And you can always layer in a kick here. Just put that into a clipper. There's a on that, so just EQ it there. That's the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, let me know what you thought of it in the comments. Make sure you join the producer community that we're building here. We're nearly at 2,500 subscribers, so if you want to go ahead, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you stay notified on the producer content here. But yeah, that's pretty much it from me today. If any of you guys need some free resources, they are linked in the description. But yeah, that's pretty much the video for me today. I'll catch you guys in the next one, and I'll play you guys a little preview of how the beat turned out in the end. Hey. Yo, J-Lib, send that pack. Yo, J-Lib, send that pack. Yo, J-Lib,